Back in 2006, when slow motion battles and sepia filters ruled the screen, a movie roared into theaters and changed everything. 300 wasn't just a film, it was a phenomenon. It was the birth of a new kind of epic, one where graphic novel artistry met pure cinematic adrenaline. With its stylized violence, unforgettable one-liners, and visuals that looked like a moving painting, it redefined the modern action movie. And at the center of it all was a man who yelled his way into history. "This is Sparta!" That man was Gerard Butler, and 300 made him immortal. In 2006, Butler was a Scottish actor with charm, grit, and a voice that could shake mountains. He'd starred in Phantom of the Opera and Timeline, but 300 made him a legend overnight. His portrayal of King Leonidas, fearless, noble, and occasionally unhinged, became a pop culture icon. Every gym, Halloween party, and meme site for years echoed his battle cry. The movie made over $450 million worldwide and transformed Butler from a rising name into one of Hollywood's most in-demand leading men. After the dust of Thermopylae settled, Butler rode that momentum into a decade of action hits: Law-Abiding Citizen, Olympus Has Fallen, Den of Thieves, and even some surprising romantic comedies like P.S. I Love You. But fame, like war, leaves scars. Behind the scenes, Butler faced burnout, injuries, and a few box office misfires. Still, he stayed true to his roots: gritty, loyal, and self-deprecating. By 2025, at 55, Gerard Butler remains Hollywood's rugged survivor. He's shifted toward producing and mentoring young filmmakers, often choosing projects that echo his own mix of toughness and heart. While some actors fade, Butler has become what Leonidas always was: a leader, tested by time, still standing tall against the odds. And while Leonidas ruled the battlefield, Lena Headey ruled the throne. As Queen Gorgo, she was fierce, intelligent, and unflinchingly loyal, the moral compass and emotional strength behind the king. Back then, audiences didn't know just how iconic Headey was about to become. After 300, Lena's career skyrocketed. She went on to play one of television's greatest and most feared queens, Cersei Lannister in Game of Thrones. The role brought her global fame, Emmy nominations, and a new level of recognition. But behind the regal glare, Headey's real story was one of resilience. She faced mental health challenges, industry sexism, and the strain of single motherhood. Yet she emerged stronger each time. Now, in 2025, Lena Headey is still royalty, both on screen and off. She's starred in indie dramas, lent her voice to animated hits, and remains a fan favorite at conventions worldwide. She's candid about her journey, her struggles, and her growth, showing that true strength doesn't come from swords or crowns. It comes from surviving the spotlight and staying human. And while Gorgo commanded the politics of Sparta, another warrior commanded the screen: the calculating, enigmatic narrator himself, David Wyndham. As Thelios, the loyal soldier who lived to tell Leonidas' story, Wyndham gave 300 its soul. His narration, both poetic and haunting, made audiences feel every loss, every victory, every drop of Spartan blood. For Wyndham, the role opened doors across the globe. After 300, he continued shining in both Hollywood and his native Australia, appearing in Van Helsing, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, and numerous critically acclaimed dramas. By 2025, he's become one of those rare actors who never loses credibility: respected, grounded, and endlessly versatile. His voice, still instantly recognizable, continues to narrate documentaries, lending that same gravitas that made 300 sound like myth come alive. From the loyal to the defiant, few characters stirred the imagination like Rodrigo Santoro as Xerxes. the God King draped in gold, pierced in diamonds, and towering over mortals like an alien deity. The Brazilian actor's transformation was so extreme that some audiences didn't even recognize him. Behind that towering presence was a subtle, hypnotic performance that helped make Cersei one of the most memorable villains of the 2000s. After 300, Santoro's career exploded. He starred in Lost, Westworld, and international dramas that cemented his reputation as a chameleon. In 2025, he's a leading man back home in Brazil and a respected actor worldwide, balancing film, television, and philanthropy. He's no longer the God King, but in his own right, he's built an empire, one of art, intelligence, and quiet power. And for all the gods and kings, one warrior became an unexpected fan favorite. Michael Fassbender, the wiry Spartan with that unforgettable grin. His character may have had many lines, but his energy, unmistakable. 300 was one of his earliest Hollywood appearances, a small but fiery role that hinted at greatness. And greatness came fast. After 300, Fassbender's rise was meteoric. He became Magneto in X-Men First Class, earned Oscar nominations for 12 Years a Slave and Steve Jobs, and built a reputation as one of the most gifted actors of his generation. But Hollywood is rarely kind to intensity, and Fassbender learned that the hard way. After a string of disappointments and a quiet few years, he shifted gears entirely, diving into his passion for racing cars. Now, in 2025, he's found balance. He's set to return to film after a hiatus, combining his love of acting and speed with a new biopic role that's already creating buzz. In true Spartan fashion, Fassbender's story is one of endurance, a reminder that even when the spotlight fades, warriors find new battlegrounds. And standing among the soldiers was the quietly intense Dominic West, who played the ambitious and ultimately treacherous Theron, the politician whose betrayal nearly doomed Sparta. West's performance oozed charm and danger, traits that became his calling card. After 300, he carved a powerful niche in television with The Wire, The Affair, and The Crown. His work earned him critical acclaim and awards, but his off-screen life, including headline-making rumors and a very public marital scandal, reminded everyone that fame is rarely tidy. Yet, much like Theron, West always found a way to regain footing. In 2025, he remains one of Britain's most respected actors, constantly proving that talent can outlast controversy. And from the political snakes to the noble heroes, there was Vincent Regan, who portrayed Captain Artemis, Leonidas' right-hand man, loyal to the bitter end. His sacrifice in the film remains one of 300's most emotional moments. Afterward, Regan continued to thrive as a character actor in both epic and contemporary roles, appearing in Troy, Snow White and the Huntsman, and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Now, in 2025, he shifted behind the camera as well, directing and producing smaller, character-driven projects that reflect his decades of experience. The same loyalty and passion he brought to Sparta now fuels his creative life off the battlefield. Even the film's behind-the-scenes talent became legends. Director Zack Snyder, with his painterly visuals and slow-motion storytelling, revolutionized the action genre. 300 put him on Hollywood's map, paving the way for Watchmen, Man of Steel, and Justice League. 2 decades later, Snyder remains divisive, but undeniably influential. Whether you love or criticize him, his fingerprint is everywhere, in every stylized action sequence that dares to blend brutality with beauty. And it's hard not to smile thinking about how 300's cast, once drenched in CGI blood and bronze, grew into real-life warriors of their craft. Gerard Butler became Hollywood's resilient everyman. Lena Headey became the queen of modern television. David Wenham became the storyteller's voice. Rodrigo Santoro built a global legacy. Michael Fassbender chased greatness and found balance. Dominic West faced his own battles and endured.
Vincent Regan turned loyalty into leadership. And Zack Snyder built a cinematic kingdom that still shapes blockbusters today. Nearly 20 years later, 300 feels both like a time capsule and a prophecy. It showed us that courage, pride, and purpose never go out of style. It proved that even exaggerated myth can carry real emotion. And it gave the world a battle cry that still echoes through pop culture. Tonight, we dine in hell. But in truth, the cast of 300 didn't dine in hell. They dined in Hollywood, at premieres, award shows, and eventually peace. Because, much like the Spartans they played, they faced their own wars and won. So, as 2025 rolls on, we look back at this cinematic army that conquered the world with nothing but abs, shields, and pure conviction. They came, they fought, they conquered, and they're still standing. If you loved revisiting this epic piece of movie history, drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more Then and Now deep dives into the legends, comebacks, and cultural moments that shaped Hollywood's golden eras.